Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another foundation. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. We're playing with the Patrick Ta Duo that just came out. This is called the Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo. Major glow, of course. Pretty descriptive at least, which is nice. It's a nice change from the ones that have like 800 words in the title. Anyway, this retails for $52 US. It has the typical Patrick Ta rose gold metal packaging. The only thing I don't like about it is, like on the Tom Ford, which is very much the same shape, this part stays as part of the packaging, so it's easier to lift the lid. With this, you got to go really from below to get that. It's just a minor thing with all his packaging. If you were curious, this is the bronzer and this is the foundation. The foundation is a little bit bigger than the bronzer. Here's the blush in the front. So the blush is the smallest here. This is the bronzer, which is a little thicker width-wise, and then the foundation is the largest, but again, not much bigger than the bronzer, just a hair bigger. I got the shade Light 3. They seem to run very deep. Normally I would be described as a light medium, maybe even a medium in some brands, but all of those shades looked way deeper than my skin tone. So I went with Light 3 and I think it's gonna be a good match. It does have the typical plastic Ta flap, as Rebecca calls it from Not Fit for Print Beauty. I think since Natasha Denona does it too, we could call it the Tasha flap. Then it gives credit to her too. Tasha flap or Tasha flap. There you go. Then it sounds like it's all her. Anyway, rambling. It does have the cream, medium coverage, buildable formula. It's creamy and balmy. I think that's going to be a good color match for me for sure. Blends out quite easily, and then I'll go in with some of the powder. The powder definitely shows up lighter and brighter, but blends into my skin. You can't really see that there. So we'll give it a try. I also have a new mascara from Makeup Forever that I will be trying, the dual-ended mascara, and I will be wearing again the new Charlotte Tilbury concealer, and then we'll be using the rest, mostly Patrick Ta products. So if you want to see how this new duo from Patrick Ta works on my almost 42-year-old normal leaning dry skin with sun damage and wrinkles, please keep watching. All right, my skin is already prepped. I did see Patrick really recommends going in with quite a dewy, moisturized base. The Sephora site doesn't even say it's good for dry skin, which this says best for oily combination and normal. Claims to be a duo that's buildable, breathable coverage. It melts into your skin and is supposed to move with the skin, so kind of a flex feature. And then the powder is an airspun setting powder that blurs the appearance of pores to create a flawless skin-like finish. Does come in 24 shades. And again, I got Light 3, but the deepest shade seems pretty deep. The lightest shades seems like it could be a little lighter. I have prepped with my typical Vive Skin Nova. I did 2 pumps of this today because I knew I needed to be pretty moisturized. Very tiny small dot of the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas just right here on my nose where I've got the most pores. For the application, I think what I'm gonna do is warm it up with my fingers, apply it in streaks on my face, and then blend it in. Typically for my foundation application, I would start with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter or the equally as gorgeous e.l.f. version of it, the Halo Glow Liquid. But because I want to see how this performs without extra glow underneath, I'm going to skip those today. So there, I've just applied a stripe to my face. About 3 swipes around in a circle is the amount I've got. And I'm gonna do that same amount across my forehead, kind of down. I'm spreading it out a little just to kind of get a feel for it. I'm gonna do a little more on my chin here and then another bit here. The more I rub in here, the softer it's getting. So hopefully it doesn't go too quickly through the product. Again, it's $52. You are getting a powder and a foundation. So from a price standpoint, that's not that unreasonable. However, if you go through it really quickly, if this is the only foundation you ever wear and you go through it quickly, and you can't buy, I imagine almost everyone would go through the cream faster than you'll go through the powder. And as of now, there's not any refill options that I've seen. So it might be nice if he gave that as an option, or down the line, depending on how it performed, if they do an option to just have the cream or the powder. Some people may like the powder more than they like the cream. So far, it blended out very easily. It's decent coverage, definitely not any more than medium, but it did cover a good bit. It evened my skin tone, gave me a nice even base. It's not accentuating any, let me rephrase that. I can see that texture on my skin. I don't know if you can. Maybe the powder will smooth it out. I'm gonna take my brush directly in and get just a little more to try and build it up where I have the most sun damage, right under my eyes here. I did bring it on my eyelid because I normally would do that. It looked for a second like it was removing some of the coverage, but as I pat back down, that was not the case. It did not take any of the coverage away. Okay, so this is with it built up a little bit right under my eye, and this is still just one layer. I think it builds nicely. You can definitely see there's more of my sun damage covered. It's less visible on this side than it is over here. Even my aggressive mark back here is pretty well covered. I moved and had misplaced a lot of my skincare products. I moved a year ago, let me rephrase that. But I recently found my Desi Skin Cloud OKC serum, vitamin C serum, and I started using it again, and even though it's like, honestly, it's way past it only has a 6-month shelf life, and it's well over that, I think it's still working because my sun damage is very light over here. I also used more sunscreen this summer than I ever have. So, bring that down my neck some. This color is pretty good for me, and I think it'll be good through the winter as well because it's not too dark. I don't think you can see any demarcation between where it stops and starts. Okay, I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's starting to bunch up over here around the edge of my nose. That's not cute. Maybe I used too much. I know he likes to use it in a sheer fashion on himself, but I want more coverage than that. I have more skin damage, and so maybe this isn't the foundation for me. I'm going in with a dry paw sponge to just try and push it into my skin a little more. Maybe that brush. I mean, it's similar to the brush he released with this product. He released a double-sided brush. That looks better. Pressing it in with the sponge definitely helped pick up a little bit of the excess, but it still did leave decent coverage. That's gonna be something to keep an eye on throughout the day. Okay, let's back up a little bit. All right, again, going in with the new Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. I did try this for the first time yesterday. That video will probably be up today. Editing is a long process, and especially when you have a full-time job and a little 2.5, 3-year-old is being a saint right now. Okay, so not a ton of the concealer. That was one dip spread out across my face. I'm gonna go in with that same sponge of the Youth to the People Adaptogen Spray and just moisten it. The concealer. Yesterday I used a brush for the concealer, so I figured today use a different method. This is gonna be mostly a face of Patrick. I don't have any brows from him. I don't have any lip, and I didn't have concealer. So. You what? You I don't know what you're saying, honey bear. It looks okay. It's not my favorite foundation so far. And see, that unfortunately, patting it with my finger took off a little bit of the coverage right here. Let's get this powder on and see how that fares. Again, this is the powder from the same duo, because this is only supposed to be for the T-zone and more targeted. It's an empty bucket, baby. You can use it. Morphe Pro Series. This is the Precision Blush brush. So I'm just gonna take a little bit. Again, this is supposed to be a satin finish, quite a bit. Comes up on the brush. I am gonna tap that off just to be safe. And I'm gonna set under here, just in my T-zone as directed. Just doing one side right now. And again, you saw that was just one dip in and then a tap off. So it's smoothed a little bit. Let me zoom you in some. You can see under this eye, it is smoother than it is over here. Not drastically, but it definitely looks better on the side that I've used the powder. So that's interesting. For my skin, again, normal, leaning towards dry, it definitely is in your benefit to use the skin if you've got some texture especially. I'm gonna go over my eyelids with that as well. It is, I should not have taken the foundation on my eyelids. It's too creamy. I don't know what that came from. I didn't even have glitter yesterday. I think glitter's like the herpes of the beauty world. Once you got it, you can't get rid of it. Because I like the way that looks so far, I am gonna take that under here as well on both sides. Kind of brighten up my lower cheek section. Okay. Let's see how this wears. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face. I'll be using the Patrick Ta Bronzer Duo, the Rose eyeshadow palette, and the blush in the shade Oh She's Different. Bronzer I'm using, I finally was able to get it in the medium shade, which is She's Sculpted. And that's this one here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and come right back. Okay, we are back. Rest of the makeup is done. I used, again, Rose palette from Patrick Ta. I used these lighter shades in the crease and then these shimmers right there on my lid. My eye over here has been watering incessantly, and so I'm trying to just not lose all my coverage right there, but you know, it is what it is. I used the blush in the shade Oh She's Different, because it's kind of like berry shade. I did like Patrick Ta recommends, and I did use the powder first and then went over with the cream. Just a tiny bit of Milani Dolce Perla highlighter on the inner corners and on my nose. And the bronzer is the Patrick Ta bronzer in the medium shade. This is the Makeup Forever, the ProfesionALL double-ended mascara. It's got volume and precision. So it's supposed to provide lift and volume. I know one of these is a teeny tiny little wand, which I'm excited to put on my bottom lashes. Step 2, and over here is step 1. $28. This retails for $28. According to Sephora, it's for long wear, curling, volume lengthening. It's an innovative 24-hour visibly lifting and volumizing mascara with 2 unique brushes and formulas for endless ways to achieve your ultimate lash look. This eye has been watering, so hopefully that doesn't affect it. But step 1 skinny brush is a lightweight formula, lifts and separates lashes with ultra precision, and then step 2's fiber brush and creamy texture add flake-free volume. You can use step 1 alone for a naturally defined look, or step 2 for immediate clump-free volume. Layer both for intense lash-to-lash volume. It is sweat-proof, suitable for sensitive eyes, and infused with a berry complex for thicker-looking lashes. Yes, I will open the yogurt for you. All right, so let's go in with step 1. I'm gonna zoom you in a little more. Ooh, look how small that is. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go in. Ooh, okay. That is already, just with step 1, it's definitely separating and defining. I am gonna go back in for a second dip. I'm not gonna add more, but what is left over, I'm gonna take on my lower lashes, because my lower lashes are already pretty long. So I don't need a lot. Ooh, I like that on the lower lash line. I do. Today I'm using the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Liner in my tight line and a little bit on the outer edge of the waterline. Okay, that was step 1. You can see my lashes are pretty separated. It gave not much length, but it definitely did give some lift. This is the side that needs the lift. This side naturally always looks pretty good, but this side needs the lift, and I think it's done that fairly well. It's kind of a pain having to use 2 steps, but I definitely appreciate the benefit of having different formulas and brushes in one unit. Okay, so this is step 2, and this is the side that's supposed to give volume. That looks pretty good. I did get a smidge on my lash line, but that's pretty par for the course with me. My lash line very much curls over the base of my lashes, so it's constantly getting mascara on it. But that definitely has really decent volume. Kind of going back in and separating a little more, still with that same first dip. It's kind of a mess right up here at the front. It hasn't blown my mind, but it's pretty. This, there's a lot of competition right now in the mascara, in all of makeup. Okay, I'm going in with a little comb, razor needle comb over here, because I've got a little bit of clumping together here that I'm not appreciating. Yeah, this definitely has volume. It's not as lengthening as I would prefer. I do have pretty long lashes to start with, but normally when I look like this, they almost touch my eyebrow, and they're not close to my eyebrow. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Okay, take her hair down. I do not have a lip on yet. Hair looks good though. I don't think I like this lip. No, it's too aggressive with this eye. Let's rethink this. It's not awful, but it's definitely not the route I want to go. I do like that formula. It's really a shame Bite is no longer selling their cosmetics. It does have some lasting power. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of lip balm since wiping that off really dried my lips. And actually, the kind of stain it left with lip balm on top might be all I need today. I did spray some of the Charlotte with the People Adaptogen on top. To conclude, let's take a look how we look right now. After application, the Patrick Ta Cream Foundation and Powder Duo looks decent. One of the reviews I saw, I try not to watch too many reviews before I review a product, so I'm not swayed. And one thing I did see consistently is that people seem to like it better as the day wears on and it melts more with your skin. So if it gets better, that would be even more fantastic. But right now, I think it looks pretty darn good. The Charlotte Concealer looks great under the eyes. The powder from the Duo is also beautiful. Yeah, for now, it looks really great. We'll check in and see how it wears and go from there. You want to say hi real quick? Oh, you're gonna be shy today? Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We're getting this boy to school. We will see you later. Okay, doing a quick check-in. It's been about 4.5 hours since I finished the makeup application, and all things considered, everything looks pretty good. I was just wearing a mask for about 45 minutes, and there's not a whole lot of transfer. So between the Charlotte setting spray that I used and the powder, it very much seals in. And for a cream foundation, that's really good wear. I do have a little bit of loss of coverage over here, mostly the blush and things from where the mask was the tightest on my face. But the rest of the foundation looks pretty good, especially where the mask wasn't at all. Obviously up on my forehead, I don't have any loss of coverage. I don't see any aggressive texture. My nose, obviously from the mask, I've lost almost all the coverage there. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Not any cakiness, not any aggressive texture. My pores look decent enough. Okay. I did wear a mask for about 45 minutes today, as I mentioned in the check-in. So I did lose some coverage around the bottom of my nose, the tip of my nose, around my mouth, and on my cheeks here. Mostly the blush is what's gone. The bronzer is still pretty intense. Well, not intense. It's still there on my forehead. Underneath my eyes, I think you can still see a good amount of the foundation and forehead as well. It's not my favorite foundation. There's definitely been some better foundations to come out this year, but it is a nice foundation. It is medium, it is buildable. I definitely liked it better after pressing it in with a sponge, and even more after I set it with the powder. So I don't particularly like it alone. The powder might be nice alone. It would be really nice if they end up doing a refill. Oh my goodness. Sometimes it's really hard being a single mom. Hey, this is my second day wearing the Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Foundation Duo. I did want to go ahead and have a 2-day wear test for this video for you, just because the first day I liked it, but it wasn't like over the moon, and I wanted to give it a fair shot. Today I wore the e.l.f. Liquid Halo Glow filter all over, but concentrated on the high points. Then I went in with the Patrick Ta Cream. I used the Huda Beauty concealer because I am also wearing the new Huda Love Fest Cheek in Burning Cherry, and the eyeshadow palette. Here, let me zoom you in a little bit. I love how this eye look turned out. I don't wear winged liner often because of my hooded eyes, but I like it. But while I'm zoomed in here, you can take a look. I do have the Patrick powder again as well. I think it looks really good. It looked decent yesterday. I had a similar issue like I did yesterday where I felt like it was getting worse before it got better. When I was doing the application, it got a little bit cakey, but then I did the same thing. I used actually a powder puff to press it in. I think, as you can see, like, it's not really gathered in my forehead lines. It's been on for at least 5 hours. I do still have pretty good coverage. I didn't have to wear a mask or anything today, but even my upper lip has maintained most of the coverage, and my chin. So the powder really makes a difference. I did not use a setting spray today, so that's just the foundation and the powder that have lasted so well. And yeah, it doesn't look dry, but I feel like in the winter I probably won't like this as much unless I'm super hydrated. If you have dry skin, definitely prep with moisturizer, oils. Hyaluronic acid is your best friend. A good hyaluronic acid serum does not have to be expensive. The Rainfall one from 4th Ray, which is ColourPop's skincare line, is fantastic. I'm glad I gave it another try. As of today, it looks really good. So I would say if you have a ton of open foundations, wait till you run out and it's time to buy a new one. This product isn't going anywhere. It is part of his permanent line, so you don't have to run out and get it right away. I know FOMO. I'm so guilty of it myself. It's hard to resist those new releases. Now more than ever, I have a reason to want to get them so I can post videos about them before everybody else in the world does, and hopefully help my channel grow so I can help support my son and send him to college. I think what I'm going to do from here on out is do 2-day wear test no matter the foundation and the way I normally wear it, which is always with either like the e.l.f. or the Charlotte or the Auric, any sort of glowy primer that I normally would use underneath. My foundation reviews will have the 2-day wear test with one without and one with the glowy base. So both people out there, if you wear a glowy base, you'll know how it wears. And if you don't, you'll know how it wears as well, assuming you have skin like mine. Anyway, rambling again as usual. It's the end of the day and this mama is beat. Thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Second day wearing the Patrick Ta Major Glow Cream